Who would know her voice the most to me would be Colin.
Her best friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good.
Grab your popcorn, pour your drink of choice, and hit play. This is Pop, Pour, Play, where I talk about some of the hottest shows on screen. I'm Nichelle, and welcome to my podcast. So tell me I'm not alone in this, because the second half of the season got real. It was less about fantasy and a little more grounded. But I think they were doing a lot to layer this second part of season 4. So I thought I'd invite my sister for this season finale to join me, because not only is she a fan, her husband is a British citizen, and we actually have family in, guess what? Aylesbury, which they shouted out during this season. So welcome, T. Thank you for joining me on this episode. So excited to talk to you about Bridgerton, because we often talk about it.
Yes. I love it. I'm thankful to be here on this show.
Okay, so let's get started, because I feel like there was a lot going on and we only got so much time to cover it. First, tell me, what was like some of the things that stood out to you overall, I guess, about the season?
Love how Violet act like she doesn't know, but she knows.
Oh yeah, she knows everything. Violet is so observant, right?
She is. And
she
catches you off guard. And when you watch those little nuances of her looking at something, or she turns at the right moment, or she'll make a comment, and you're like, okay, she's with it.
She is illegitimate, I would imagine.
I find I am disappointed. I had hoped perhaps she was of legitimate nobility so that she may be suitable.
Suitable? For what?
Oh, I do not know.
Let's talk about a little bit of this kind of push and pull with Benedict and Sophie. I thought I really loved the scene where she was giving him the business.
I may not be as high as a lady, but I refuse to be that low. As a maid, I am respectable. I am necessary, and now here you stand attempting to rob me of that too, and for what?
Like,
go girl!
I think, what did she called her, like a courtesan or something like that?
Yes.
Qualified courtesan or something like that. I remember. Right. That. Yes, that was.
And
good.
I was like, okay, she's gonna stand on her business, 10 toes down. This girl is
right.
Like, no, dude, you're gonna have to do better than this.
Because I also thought about when he was having that conversation with Alice's husband, and he was saying, well, did you tell her that?
Oh yeah, I think his name is Will.
Will, yeah. And he said, did you tell her? He said, no. He said, well, it's more than just, he said, I wanted to be honest. He said,
it's not about honesty, it is about gesture. How can a woman trust you to navigate a complicated life with her when she cannot trust you even to navigate her feelings?
Next time he went to her, it was like, I'm just doing this to make you feel like you're more than a mistress to me. And I didn't know if I understood him to be, at that moment, to be genuine. I thought he was just trying to make it easy for himself.
Yeah, oh, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. I was wondering if I was truly sold on the love match.
Yes, you nailing that. Yeah.
I wasn't, I was feeling like maybe it's just me, because I don't know that I'm fully sold on their love match.
I think I was more excited about seeing the baby of Anthony and
you didn't like any of baby.
I was like excited when that scene came on, more so than when I saw them in their love affair, because I didn't really feel. I felt the tension because of the haves and the have-nots, but I don't know if I was pulled in that I could be rooting for them so much. I don't know. I think I was more intrigued by some of the other relationships that were pushed and pulled, like the cousin Michaela and Francesca, how they had all this tension going on. And then they found a common ground with each other with John, because that girl.
Let's get into the Kilmartins then, because I think this is a great segue. I think I feel differently than you do about this. So tell me, I mean, that's fine, right? This is why we all watch it and we have our own perspectives. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? I really like their relationship. I think they were more interesting to me because they created a different dynamic. There was this awkwardness when they first got together, and I wanted to see how that was going to pan out. Who would bloom? Because there was a time when Francesca was also finding her voice. Remember, they were cousin and John was sitting at the fire, and they were up late and talking and laughing loud, and she said,
I do not wish to do that.
Who you yelling at?
Exactly. So I'm gonna really take myself out of here. But that was to me dramatic because I did not expect that twist for him to go. I didn't know, is there a reason why he died? Like, I'm interested to know, like, why did they have to take him off? Why did they give her that storyline?
That's her story. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's interesting is I did know, it's not a spoiler, as we know these are based off of the books.
Right.
I think it felt to me like he knew something was wrong with himself and he was blaming it on Parliament. And then I felt like he was concerned around like Francesca and he didn't tell her, but how will she be okay? And I felt like that was what was important to him when he saw like they weren't getting along. Is like, who would she have when he's gone? And in addition to it, I felt like okay, I'm not going to get into that because I don't know if you know that part yet. But I will say I did like John. I liked their energy of getting together. And they're both being like these quirky. They met sitting in silence, right? And right. They paid homage to that when they both were out by the moon.
Yes. Yep.
But I don't know. I don't feel like I was emotionally invested enough. I didn't really have enough time with me to really.
Yeah. And I get that. And now that you're bringing up some of that stuff, I can start looking at it in hindsight, thinking, why did the cousin come? Why was Michaela there? You know, and then you're right about the time they were spending together. Now, when I think about it, there was a time when he was standing at the door and watching them put the puzzle pieces together. And he was kind of looking at them like, okay, so y'all are friends. So, you know, I see that now. But yeah, for something about them, I think it was just their quirkiness that I thought, you know, and I think I like all the quirky characters in this show.
Like right. Are you talking about, oh yeah, Alfie. I love Alfie. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite lines was when he was like,
good God, he's what?
And he would come in, you know, at so many weird moments, like he would just pop up, Alfie, Alfie, and just the name Alfie.
Exactly. And I love the way he says
Sophie.
I love the way he calls her name.
Yeah.
That's probably the same with Posey.
Exactly. All those characters that had a role that they didn't introduce them before. And I think you said it in your last chapter. You didn't really realize how rich the Bridgertons really are. Like, even from the show, I was like, the kitchen, the laundry, like all those things that they were showing. I was like, the house didn't even look that big. Was the recital at their house? The
recital was at their house, but it wasn't in the part, like the entrance. You know how like they've had things in that entry area?
Yeah.
No, this was in another, that stairwell that came down was another room.
Okay.
It seemed like it.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. That's what
it seemed like it. I could be wrong, but it seemed like, there's parts of this house we definitely hadn't seen that we,
And I love it. And I love it because there was a scene where it was her recital and those girls were coming down. They had several brown girls coming down the stairs. I thought it was good. when what's his name? Gregory was like, she is divine.
Yeah. Gregory. Oh my God. Gregory.
That was a highlight for me.
Now we got to transition out. You brought it up because you're doing this so perfectly. Hyacinth's recital. So I talked about this last time too. We didn't get a whole lot of balls the whole season now.
That's right.
And this recital, not a ball, but this recital was so adorable.
It was.
Oh my gosh, it was so adorable.
Too. Yes.
Yes, it was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah.
I love seeing it. Like you talked about Gregory. That was so cute with him and Colin trying to coach him.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, Will and Alice's son, I can't remember his name.
Nikki.
Nikki. Yes.
Yes.
Nikki, girl, his little two-step. His little hop had me tickled every time I saw it.
Yeah, and do you think they're gonna hook up? You think that's gonna be something him and
I don't think so. Okay, so this is another thing too. In this time when they were introduced to society, I think they were like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
We go back to Daphne, even looking at Eloise and Francesca. They look way older than 18, right? They look like in their 20s, early 20s.
Yeah.
Now with Hyacinth and her girls that came down the steps, they legit look like they're like 14, 15. Yeah. So I'm like, they got 2-3 more years before they get introduced to society. Y'all trying to sell me they ready right now? Like,
right.
I'd feel bad. Like they look like babies, but yeah, that was pretty funny. But I don't know, because their son does look younger than her. So unless he's recasted or something changes, I don't know. I don't think
they
so.
might. That's what I was thinking too. But I thought the connection they did, something on the dance floor that they did when she went around, it seemed like she smiled at him. But maybe that's because they're familiar with the family. Maybe that was it. But
right. And he was the only one who stood in her line. So when she was like, get the girls or whatever, he was like the only one there. So he could have a crush on her. But girl, when she was, their little, what was it? The long dance.
Yes.
What's cute about it is they're changing partners, and you could see it on Hyacinth's face. Like,
exactly. Like, nah, not the one.
Right. She was waiting for that tall dude.
Right. But I think what the funny thing about it is, and you brought that up because I think of Eloise, right? And so Eloise had to go through this, and she's watching all her sisters go through this. And so Hyacinth is really believing that, okay, Eloise, you've been through this, you should know. Remember, she was trying to get her to say, okay, if somebody offers me lemonade, he must be interested. And so that was her sign to know. And so when the young man he drank the lemonade and then come back, she's almost like, I'm done with this. Since it wasn't a diamond of the season.
Oh my gosh.
So she's like, I'm done with this. And I thought that was kind of interesting how, if she may go down, her and Eloise might switch roles in the sense of what they want.
When all love truly brings is hardship and sorrow.
I suppose it is difficult.
Well, I for one want no part of it. I have finally seen the wisdom in what you have been telling me.
Well, I talked about earlier society changing, and I want to just touch on a couple of other things before we start wrapping up. One was your thoughts around Penn no longer being Lady Whistledown. And then 2, Alice Mondridge, and really wanting to make an impact and help change society. So let's start there. What were your thoughts about Penn and like giving up Lady Whistledown?
I loved it because, that's going back to your theme of push and pull, right? Because she had struggled with whether or not she should continue to write, whether this was going to, when she first came out, should I say it? It's me. How is this going to work with my family? And that was her way of finding her voice in that realm, but she was behind closed doors doing it.
Yes.
Now, when I saw this, dynamic between her and the queen, when I first saw it, when she was in her little sailor pirate costume for the masquerade.
Oh yes, at the masquerade. Yeah,
she was summoned to the queen.
Right, exactly.
I'm thinking, okay, how is this gonna work? I thought it was really good for her to stand up and say, I'm no longer doing this.
I look forward to seeing what you will write next, Mrs. Bridgerton.
Let's talk really quick about Alice Mondridge and what she said to her husband. I felt like that was a powerful moment.
Yeah, it was. And it was a powerful moment for all women, not only today, but even in that era.
We were given this life out of thin air, and it has been wonderful. And we are enjoying ourselves at last, but I should like to help others enjoy it as well.
And I love that about her, because that's going to tell me that with Agatha leaving, Lady Danbury leaving, that she's going to step up in the role. She's going to step up in the role. And I like that sisterhood dynamic between Agatha and the queen. I love their
banter
and all of that. So I'm wondering how impressive Alice will be to the queen.
Queen needed somebody to challenge her, and that's what she's had before. And I think Danbury, with her age and their friendship, it wasn't a challenge, it was comfort. Now she's got to be pushed out of her comfort zone, but pleasantly she accepted it.
Get her out of here.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Your
perhaps-
Majesty, I will not.
But I know you didn't talk about it. I know we're about to close, but you didn't mention how Cressida came back. Like, can you believe that? Oh my God, like, she found somebody.
Girl, I knew that hand, because they made it a point to show this stiff hand coming out of the carriage, and I'm like, I know this hand, but Cressida's name did not come to. I'm not gonna lie, Cressida's name did not come to mind, but I was like, I should know this hand, and I was like going through like, okay, different episodes, and I didn't land on Cressida, so it still was a surprise that she came back, girl. Like, I was like, she was determined. She's always been determined. Tacky, but determined. Determined.
I love it. Big pink bow.
Girl, she had marshmallow curly cues or something on the table. I was like, girl, we thought the Featheringtons were tacky. She took the cake.
She takes the case.
I'm all for putting the past in the past.
Okay, so yeah, she came back, but I don't know if you noticed when her husband at the ball, when Cressida was like, the queen didn't come, I gotta make a speech. Girl, he was sitting up there looking like Prince.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back.
He had this feathered, like, kind of Prince shirt going on, and it was all pink. And I just was like, why are you up there looking like Prince?
Why are you looking like And he's the cousin to Sophie, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be Sophie's cousin. I don't know where he's been for 8 years. They didn't. I don't know, but
so I'm interested to see what's gonna happen next, because I think there's a lot of story to tell.
Far too much transpires for this author to remain silent.
Okay, leaning into then season 5, we know Agatha's left, right? I think she's going to be traveling. She's definitely bound for Sierra Leone, her ancestral homeland. Penelope's writing a novel. That's going to be nice. I wonder if Colin's still writing. He didn't say anything. I know he did write a book.
Maybe
I think it was the beginning. What'd you say?
Maybe he's Whistledown.
Oh, that would be it. Okay, wait a minute. You trying to jump into your predictions?
I ain't gonna jump.
No, it's cool. So you think he might be Whistledown?
Because he's all, where did this come from then? And he's been behind the scenes, and he's a writer. He's a great writer.
I did not lean into the way he said that, but my prediction is Eloise.
Because her reaction too when she was
but she also knew, like, she's known, she knew first, right? Penelope wasn't, along with Colin, her husband, that she didn't want to write Whistledown anymore. And then why I felt like that is because in the end, when she was talking to Posey, and she encouraged Posey to talk to the guy at the ball that liked her. And then she was at the very end, she was talking about, I think, like the I don't know if they're still called the Penwoods. I don't think they're the Penwoods, but anyways, the Gunn family, or the Araminta and her daughters. Right. She was saying, I think they'll be okay. And she was standing next to Colin and Penn and just looking at them. And then we get another edition of Whistledown. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like,
and she's been in the cut lately too. She's been around the walls because she
she doesn't want to. Yep.
That's all right. That's a good one up in there, because I was even thinking Lady Danbury at first, but then I said, she's going away
because she's leaving.
But then when he brought it, that's what
that's a point. I mean, we won't know. I didn't read the books, so I don't know. So I'm sure other people, other people who've read the books are like, y'all either spot on or way off.
Yes, exactly.
But I also thought maybe a part of me thought maybe Violet, because she's so observant, and she's like wanting to find that passion in herself again. It's easy for her to be along the walls if she's not looking for no partner.
That's right. That's going to be
so. I don't know, but this one can't come out, or else it'll be doomed for the same.
Girl,
right?
I think that's juicy. I think it's juicy because you saw how Penelope even responded. She's like, and so who would know her voice the most to me would be Colin.
Her best friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good. Then that leaves on a cliffhanger to see who that's going to be. I'm excited to see that one.
It does. And then the last thing was like Michaela left again, but we know there's more story for her.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much I'm going to be like invested again. Somebody leaves and comes back. It just doesn't really give me time. Her at the house didn't really give me time to really connect with her. So yeah, I don't know. We can't forget Eloise. She has gotten softer to the positives of love and marriage, the companionship, the family, right? She talked about that with Hyacinth. So
she's still my favorite though. She's still my favorite.
we can't forget about her. There could still be some love in the cards for her.
You think so? You think so?
I think so. I think she might not be the Spencer.
Exactly. It's going to take an interesting character that they have to bring in that will capture her eye.
All right. Well, that wraps up our conversation around season 4 of Bridgerton. I hope you enjoyed having that conversation. We usually talk like this, but we're like on our couch or like at the table. We chopping it up.
We got falling on each other.
Right. But we wanted to let you guys inside our conversation this time around. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, share, really support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, see you later.